The whole way I got on Lion King was, so pretty shortly after I moved to the city, there was this show that was going to be, they were doing rehearsals and it was going to be called Raise the Roof. And like we were going to go to like like off Broadway or something, or like previews to like do the show. There was money behind it. And then 9/11 happened and it just was like, this is over. We're not doing this. When I got a call, because I was a DW artist at the time, and the guy who was playing Lion King at the time was also a DW artist, right? So I remember they gave me his number and said, hey, if you ever have questions about anything in New York, he plays on Broadway. He's a good guy to know. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. But like, I moved to New York to play with like Sting, Paul Simon, Peter Gabriel. That's what I wanted to do. And now I know all my friends have those gigs, which is funny. And they're all killing on those gigs. So I called this guy and just to get it, I didn't know what the money was supposed to be for this off-Broadway like reading situation. And I asked him, he's like, well, yeah, you got to be a union member and that's totally standard union pay. And he was like, you know, if that doesn't work out, I'm looking for a sub that's like young in the city if you want to come up and look at the book. And I was just like, yeah, okay, cool. I just didn't think much of it. I'm like, you know, it's Disney music, you know, how hard could that be, right? And so I went up. I remember after the Raise the Roof thing got canceled, I went up to watch him play. And I remember sitting in the room going like, okay, like I can play all of this stuff technically, but like there's a lot of little starts and stops and bass drum roll, and then it's a cymbal crash, and then you're doing this. So I was like, I just need to figure out the choreography of the flow of the show. That's to me the hardest part of a show. It's not really the playing. There's no like shredding in 13/8 on the gig, you know? I mean, there are some percussion breaks that are weird and there's some weird measures here and there, but like it just gets built into the show in your head. And so that's how I ended up at Lion King, was through calling him, basically saying, is this money correct for this other thing? I wasn't like, hey man, I want a sub for you. And then I became like the first call sub there. I was in like 3-4 shows a week, which is a lot.